Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adi and today we are here with week 6 of the XDL. Last week we took on Fevzi and even he could not stop the fantastic, the flawless, the Flagstaff Flygons, and so we are 5-0 on the season, 10-1 in games. Also, sorry for the delay in this video. It normally would come out on Sunday, but I was on vacation this past weekend and did not have time to play until Tuesday morning. I literally took a red-eye flight back home, landed, and basically immediately played my match since my opponent had to go to work. So I'm working on like 3 hours of airplane sleep here. I actually thought that this would have been the perfect time to introduce you to some of my front office, in this case Kunal and Elisa, who I was hanging out with on vacation, and I recorded this whole intro with them, but I forgot to turn on the audio. So this is being recorded after the match. I also got to shout out the rest of my front office, Mike D'Angelo and Carl Schatzberg, while I was off on vacation. Carl put together this week's team, so huge shout outs to him. I could not do it without all these guys. But first, my opponent this week is Furai. He is another great VGC streamer and YouTuber. He is also in charge of the High Roller Draft League, which is like a high stakes XDL. All the competitors have to put down a decent chunk of change to compete, and there are huge prizes, so all of them take it very seriously. It is fantastic to watch when there is content made. So if you've enjoyed the XDL content from my channel, make sure to go check him out for all of the XDL content that he puts out, as well as the High Roller Draft League and all of his other fantastic content. He was great to talk to. He was very, very accommodating given how awful my schedule was this weekend, so really got to give him props. Also, we had to trade in the Dusknoir on our team for a Magmortar because we didn't have a fire type after last week's trade where we traded in our Darmanitan. And also, it turns out we do need a fire type, largely because Jin's team is built around Metagross. So Metagross is a really versatile Dynamax. I'm sure you've seen it in VGC, where it normally carries a weakness policy, but it can do a lot of different things in a draft league. It's got fantastic coverage moves. It can either play very aggressively with something like a Bulldoze Salamence or Coaching Pheromosa on his team, or it could try to stack defense boosts and play more conservatively, making the Porygon 2 impossible to KO. Just like in VGC, he's also got a Rotom Heat to pair with the Metagross, since they cover a lot of each other's weaknesses and are generally in the same speed tier, so they can play with the same speed control. He's also got a powerful Trick Room option on his team in the Araquanid, although after watching Japan Nationals this past weekend, I think the Runigarius might actually be the scarier threat in Trick Room. We actually have some pretty good options against Araquanid, so I'm not as concerned about that. Namely, the Stakataka is obviously just going to KO it in Trick Room. He's also got a lot of annoying support options on his team. He has a Butterfree, a Sableye, and a Pheromosa, all of which do very different things, and so his team can be played in a lot of different ways. And so here is my team for this week. The idea is mostly that Thundurus isn't a good Dynamax into his Metagross, but it is a really good Dynamax into everything else on his team. And so whatever doesn't Dynamax is going to get KO'd repeatedly by the Thundurus, and of course just slowly get set up. And then I have a lot of options to KO the Metagross in the endgame, be it with a Magmortar or Nidoking, or to some extent even Urshifu, because Urshifu ignores the defense boost that Metagross generates. A lot of his support options lose to Togekiss's redirection. Sableye in particular gets bodied by it. Pheromosa also doesn't like getting redirected if it wants to go for speed swap stuff, although coaching does ignore redirection. And then the Butterfree is the last support option. It can be a little annoying, but I do have a Lumberry on Thundurus, so I don't have to worry about getting put to sleep by it. I'd also get to ignore the Will-O-Wisp from a potential Sableye. And then the Magmortar is also a Vital Spirit, so it also can't get put to sleep. The Magmortar is cool. It's got Power Swap to slow down a weakness policy Metagross. I figured it'd be a good idea to get rid of a +2 boost from it, or a +2 boost from a Rotom. And also, if I click Overheat, I can get rid of my own stat drops. This might just be worse than clicking 2 fire moves in almost every situation, but it is way cooler, so we are going to roll with it. The Magmortar is a point faster than Urshifu, which outspeeds modest max speed Rotom, and then it is Air Balloon because there's a reasonable chance he goes for Meta Immense, which clicks Bulldoze with Salamence and procs Metagross's weakness policy, makes everything slower than Metagross, and then takes KOs. The Magmortar being Shucca Berry means the Magmortar being Shucca Berry would mean it doesn't ignore the Bulldoze. It gets slowed down, and then the Metagross still gets to hit it super effectively with a ground move, whereas the Air Balloon means it ignores the Bulldoze, and I outspeed the Metagross after it anyways, and so it just kind of stops this strategy altogether. The Togekiss on the team is a pretty standard support set. It is mostly there to click Follow Me, but if there is an Araquanid, it might have to click Air Slash, and if it's clicking Air Slash, it might as well get the flinch with Serene Grace. It is Babiri Berry because obviously there is a Metagross on the team. There's also a Lucario on the team, so there's a number of things that could click steel moves into it. The Nidoking is on the team because it has insane coverage. Obviously, it is going to hit the Metagross really hard with Earth Power. Sludge Bomb does a lot of damage neutrally into basically everything on his team. And I ended up deciding that Substitute was going to be better than Ice Beam because it is very rarely in front of the full HP Salamence, and that's really the only thing that you want to click Ice Beam into. Normally, into Salamence, you are maxing the Thundurus, you are clicking Max Airstream into it, and so it is going to be in Sludge Bomb range anyways. Substitute, on the other hand, just has a lot more utility, can take advantage of passive turns where he might have to stall it out, or if he just chooses not to target the Nidoking for a turn, I can punish that as well. The Stakataka is the main way of dealing with the Araquanid in Trick Room, but it can also do its own thing pretty well, especially if it gets to +1 after getting a KO, because then the Body Press will do a ton of damage into everything. Body Press is one of the best options that I have into Porygon 2, and then also the the Stone Edge is going to help endgame into Rotom Heat. Finally, the Urshifu lives a Life Orb Thunderbolt from Rotom because of the Assault Vest, and is also a pretty good endgame sweeper into most things, since it can ignore defense boosts that Metagross generates really easily, and of course also it's fighting coverage, so it helps deal with the Porygon 2, which might just never die. In general, the game plans are to get an Airstream boost for either Nidoking or Urshifu and try to sweep with the combination of Thundurus and one of those, and then the other one can come in later in the game to clean up whatever is left. The Togekiss and Magmortar deal with a lot of the support options on his team that can be used to disrupt my linear game plan, and then finally, if there's a Porygon 2 Araquanid on his team, then the Stakataka should put in a lot of work. That's all I got for the team. Again, I just took a red eye back home, so I am absolutely exhausted, and hopefully everything just goes according to plan. All right, we are jumping right into it. Good luck, have fun, I guess. And okay, so this is interesting. So it looks like there is a Trick Room mode with Araquanid. There is the mode with the Metagross stuff as well, which I think it just pairs really well with the Porygon 2. I have to pull up my notes for how I was dealing with this matchup. I told you I am in so little sleep right now. So let's see. I'm going to try to follow my notes to a T and not really think about it too much. So we do see a Sableye, so I kind of need to lead the Togekiss, I think is where I'm at. Although Togekiss is a pretty bad lead into like Porygon 2. At least I give it the defense, this attack boost, so that's something. I think that I live in a Steel type attack. I think I probably want the Stakataka for the Araquanid in case that he does manage to set up Trick Room, but it's kind of bad into everything. It's not awful into everything else. I just decide between Magmortar and Nidoking. And it's probably Magmortar. It's just, it does, let's see. I really want the Stakataka, but I don't know if, I think if I bring the Stakataka, I have to like commit to maxing it. So I guess we're doing that. As good as Urshifu seems, I think I was supposed to bring Urshifu. Because Urshifu does seem really good here. But we'll see. I think the Stakataka, I might be overcompensating for Araquanid because Urshifu isn't awful into Araquanid, but it's not ideal. It doesn't really hit it back, right? And so hopefully we call the mode right, because I do think that I need the Stakataka into a harder Trick Room mode if I can't stop it. But there's a Lucario and the Metagross, so double Steel type right away. Nothing that I can necessarily immediately shut down. I can certainly take a turn of redirection. Does Lucario get coaching? It must, right? It could be Scarf as well, but I could just max here. I could just max Knuckle. I would take the KO. What's stopping me from going for the max Knuckle follow me? Right, it had to be like Scarf Lucario. We didn't see like a Pheromosa. There's just nothing faster than this Thundurus right now, and I do have a Lumberry to protect myself from a potential Sableye, so I think I'm just going to max Knuckle. And I think I'm going to follow me just to like avoid any shenanigans here. Again, Lucario underspeeds Thundurus unless it's choice Scarf. I have a Babiri Berry, so I should live any one attack from any of his Pokemon. What else can Lucario do? So Jin is like known for using Ally Switch. He's used Ally Switch on like Seems like all of his teams, or like a lot of his teams, and basically all of his mons get it. And so I guess we could see that coming out as well. There's a bunch of different things that he could do there. But Lucario is not really a mon that I prep for, other than like putting the Troubleberry on Stack Attack to respect it a little bit. And so I haven't really seen the things that it can do, but I'm sure it can do like something silly that's going to, ruin my day. That's the beauty of draft leagues, right? Like, I mean, I got to do that with Poltergeist. No surprise the Metagross Max is a pretty natural Dynamax here. I think this game plans are going to be pretty heavily revolved around it. I don't mind the Togekiss going down, I'll be honest. It was always kind of expected that it goes down. There's a Coaching. Okay, so there's a Scarf. That's still fine, because again, I'm just faster. I think I'd still live the Steel Spike with Babiri Berry. I don't actually KO. That's a little problematic. I guess I just have to live this attack. Live attack at a second max Knuckle Off. There's the Hailstorm. Okay, so don't live that one. That's for sure. But I can max Airstream into Power Swap. That's going to be really funny. I mean, yeah, and that's just going to be the really funny thing, right? Completely ignoring the Lucario as I Power Swap is also an option, right? I don't really want it to get the free switch in. I can get a second max Knuckle Off. It's locked into Coaching, presumably. It is faster. It will continue to be faster after an Airstream. No, it won't. So if I Airstream the Metagross, I'm just getting all the advantage that I would be from Airstreaming the Lucario, because it doesn't go down to the Hail Chip. So I think I'm going to Airstream Metagross because I think that I know this is Choice Scarf. And then I'm going to Power Swap just to get rid of its 2 attack boosts that it's going to have after this turn. And then next turn, I can KO the Lucario with a Max Knuckle. And then Metagross, of course, will go down to the Flamethrower. Yeah, so there's Coaching. So now it's at +2 attack, +2 defense. And it's going to go back down to neutral. I did have to Airstream, yeah, because then I guarantee I had speed. I think that Magmortar is actually just EV to outspeed anyways, but I do need to outspeed the Lucario next turn so that I don't get another Coaching off. At this point, I'm at +2 attack, so like I don't really get to stop it, but yeah, so there's a Power Swap. I'm glad that manages to come out right away, because I'm going to live this Mindstorm quite easily. That was not as easily as I would have wanted to, obviously, but I certainly lived it. I will take credit for that. Yeah, there's the Air Balloon. No big deal there, but we do see Metagross had Hailstorm, and also we saw I think we just saw Hailstorm, and we saw Zen Headbutt, yeah. Okay, so Lucario does go down here, no matter what. I think I get to double into the Metagross. It hasn't clicked Steel Spike yet, which is a little unusual. I can also just Max Knuckle the Lucario to guarantee it goes away. I'm a little worried about, like, Overheat. No, it's a +2 defense. I just have to Overheat it, don't I? I don't get to change the terrain. I could Max Guard into Overheat. That's not a bad play, I don't think, because that guarantees my boosts. It gives him the attack boost, right? He's locked into Coaching. There's no real reason to target this down. I think I just go for the Max Guard, and I go for the Overheat into the Metagross. I could have switched out. Maybe I'll just switch out. Okay, he just switches out, which is probably smart. He keeps his Pokemon alive, which is going to be annoying. There's the... Oh, okay. That's fair. So Max Guard was really bad then. I could have Max Knuckled very freely. But I guess the goal, was to end up getting that +2. Now I'm only a +1, but I get the Superpower should pick up, right? So this isn't awful because the Superpower should pick up the Porygon 2, I hope. The Magmortar will go down to Hail Chip. That's probably not Superpower range. Oh boy. It took very little. So now I have to go for the Superpower into Rock Slide, I guess. That should pick it up, maybe. Man, Max Knuckle would have been sick there. I just should have gone for it. I got too scared. Yeah, damn. Yeah, okay. Like, there were definitely lines to punish it, but, like, I don't know. This should be still okay, though, right? Like, I get to Superpower into Rock Slide, KO the P2. I get to Wild Charge to KO Lucario. And then Stack Attacka has to do a lot on its own. Superpower is not going to hurt me because Ice Punch is probably KOing me anyways. I don't think I have a move that doesn't die. Oh, right, I'm Stone Edge. Ah, okay. So that makes things more difficult. Do I care about Porygon 2? I really don't, is what I think is the answer. So I'm going to Stone Edge the Rotom and say that the Porygon 2 is either going down to the Superpower or it doesn't get to click Trick Room anyways. I'm +1 attack, so I might just KO outright. I do. Okay, very good. And then, so they get to get a Thunderbolt off into either of my 2 Pokemon. I am still Scarf. It is still Scarf Lucario, and I'm still faster than it. And I have a decent amount of bulk, so I should live that. The Rotom is not Life Orb. I know he has ran Life Orb. I know that Life Orb was in our calcs. There's a Stone Edge. And there's the Beast Boost, which is also good because now I'm at +1 defense. I should live any attack from a potential Metagross. As long as I live like a Bullet Punch from a Lucario, I should be okay because I got that Airstream off. Yeah, I mean, this seems pretty reasonable, right? Like, Mach Punch could come out, but I have the Choble Berry specifically for that, so it would have to be like Mach Punch into another attack. Is there an argument to ignore the Lucario? Okay, let's see. So I'm going to Wild Charge, right? I don't want a Superpower. And then, is it Trick Room? It might be Trick Room into Body Press. It's probably just Body Press in case like my Thundurus lives the turn. Body Press is the highest damage for sure. We're just gonna go for it. This is a Wild Charge. Okay, so that picks up, right? It was Scarf. There's the Ice Punch, yeah. And that picks up there. And so now this Metagross has to KO a +1 defense Stack Attacka. Because otherwise it goes down to this Body Press because I'm at +1 for here as well. Yeah, so now the second Body Press is going to pick it up. Hammer Arm, I live. It has Mind Storm and Ice Punch, so it would have to be like I think I should just live any attack from here. I could flinch, right? Maybe I was supposed to not get flinched to play around that, but like Zen Headbutt flinching a million times. If I clicked Trick Room, that wasn't really a possibility. But, you know, all things considered, a win is a win. So he needed the crit there. Yeah, okay. So, I don't think I played that perfectly, but I take the win anyways, despite that. I definitely thought that Urshifu would have been incredible in that situation. Right, like it would have just pressured everything. Obviously, he did have Mindstorm. One of my partners in testing brought mixed Metagross with like Expanding Force, which was kind of cool because it. I mean, he knew that I was running like physical defense on the Urshifu at the time. Urshifu is also just relatively physically bulky, and that was a cool attack that I saw in prep that like it still could be. I don't know what type this Mindstorm was. It was probably physical because Magmortar has an awful physical defense stat, and even though we've invested a lot into it, it's still not going to take these attacks very comfortably. Right, okay, so we saw the Metagross Lucario lead game 1 with Rotom P2 and back, and there's a Spider, and there's the Sableye. And the Sableye was the thing that I couldn't lead. I needed to lead Togekiss into. If he doesn't bring Sableye, then I'm a little freer to do what I want, but obviously that coaching plan, I think that coaching is generally a low value move. You are spending a turn to get a +1 or +2 functionally, right? +1 attack, +1 defense. But a max move also gets you a +2. The max Steel Spike gives you +1 defense and then +1 defense on your partner. So really, you're like, but you're not doing damage. And so the value of those stat boosting moves is a lot lower because there's another way to get those stat boosts, which is a lot easier. And so I think that coaching is a relatively low value in general. Obviously, in a draft league, you are allowed to do things that you think will win the game. But here, obviously, Power Swap kind of put a dent into his plan. So I don't think he gets to bring that again because he just doesn't do damage. I also don't think that was weakness policy, but I think I'm going to. I think I still need to go Togekiss. I think I still need to just play around that that stupid Sableye, because that is just like a problem Pokemon if I let it go loose. I think I want the Urshifu this game. I think that he's not allowed to boost up. And then, let's see. Stack was fine. Urshifu does something similar. We're going to go into... Let's bring Nidoking. Let's bring the Nidoking. Let's see what happens. Right, he doesn't know the sets. I figure, you know, like, there's... The argument against Nidoking is that I want to click Earth Power primarily, and Earth Power is really good into a bunch of his attackers, but it's really bad into Rotom. And I don't really want to get stuck in a situation where I'm forced to click Earth Power and have to call the switch, or click Sludge Bomb and call the switch. It's not great, but we do see the same lead. And so I do think that, like, I just have the ability to overpower his Pokemon. Right, and so I kind of get to do the same thing. I can Airstream into Max Knuckle if I want to. He can't possibly go for coaching, right? He's just not allowed to. It's just a really low value play for him. Can he? I don't think he can. I don't think he can. So I think I get to Airstream. He's still going to be faster. Okay, so I guess we're going for the same play. Yeah, we're just going to go for the same play. What's the worst that could happen? Right, like, I still want to actually be slower next turn so that if he KOs the Togekiss, I can get my Magmortar in. Oh, I didn't bring Magmortar. Right, okay. That's what can go wrong. He's not going to go for it. That's all there is to it. He's going to go for the double up, trying to just pick off the Togekiss without having to worry about power swap. That's my take. Like, I just think that, like, this power swap was such a huge punish to what he was trying to do, right? He just wasted a bunch of turns, basically. But no, he's just going for it. Let's see. I guess, like, coaching is also get kind of beat by Urshifu, especially if it gets a Max Knuckle off. Okay, so we'll see. I guess Follow Me does go before coaching, anyways. There's the final Gambit, so we'll see if I live this. I think I have a lot of bulk, so I might. I do. Very cool. Oh, that's beautiful. So yeah, so that's like, you know, I did not put all of the work into this team. He just messaged me, and okay, he deleted the message. He was like, "Oh, I was hoping you were at max HP." But yeah, it's so again, I didn't really do the EV spreads. I listened to Carl, who has been helping me out a ton while I've been on vacation, and kind of blowing this off a little bit. Not really blowing it off, like I've been trying to play. Jin's been great for scheduling. He's like been very flexible, and I obviously haven't been the most accommodating. But let's see. I actually got to still play the game, huh? So final Gambit, I totally missed. I think it was Hailstorm that the thing went for, but realistically, what can he bring in that's problematic? Like, I think that the Urshifu and just going for like giving it the boost is going to be enough. I still have, like, the way he wins is getting his Trick Room up, and that's just like, okay, so now I just get to like Max Knuckle, I get to Surging Strikes that slot. It obviously always KOs. I might just live the Mindstorm. I do have to Max Knuckle the Metagross, I believe. Yeah, just to get those attack boosts, just to start getting damage off onto it. But obviously, Surging Strikes will pick up this Rotom. Don't really want to close combat because I think I can maybe live a Mindstorm. Okay, so there's the Ally Switch. Yeah, I did mention he really likes the Ally Switch. That's going to be very annoying for the Nidoking, so maybe I wasn't even supposed to bring it, honestly. But yeah, that's gonna two-shot around like a potential Citrus Berry too, which is really nice. Because of the Max Knuckle boosting attack, he'd have to click Steel Spike for that to go around. Also, this is doing very, very little. Oh man, okay. But I do have bulk on this Urshifu because of the Assault Vest, so I might be able to live a unboosted Max Mindstorm, potentially. We'll see. But yeah, there is the Mindstorm. I do not. Okay. So now we have to rely on the Nidoking, and we have to rely on playing Ally Switch Mind Game. So that's going to be That's the fun part, right? That's Pokemon. I think I'm actually okay. I think I get to max Knuckle and Earth Power. The shoot. Okay. Now it might be less okay because now he's into Sperry range. So now I have to figure out if I'm KOing with the max Knuckle. I was really hoping that he would not be into Sperry range. I can also reasonably click Substitute. He is forced to target down the Nidoking. I get a third max Knuckle off, right? And I get a Substitute off. Is that going to be enough? Like, Nidoking certainly doesn't live in attack. Is there a safe play? The safe play is like, no, because I don't think I KO the Rotom. I think I need the Hail Chip to KO the Rotom. So I'm going to max Knuckle the Rotom. I think I'm going to go for Sub. Because I think this plays around, like, calling the Ally Switch wrong pretty well, while, like, still doing things proactively. And there's the Ally Switch. Okay, so, yeah. So I'm putting myself in a spot where I'm allowed to not call the Ally Switch correctly. I'm at +3 attack, so now I get to just target both slots down and guarantee the KOs. Hailstorm has to, like, crit, I think, Thundurus to KO it from neutral. Again, I have a little bit of bulk, not a ton. But yeah, there's a Substitute, so let's see. What can he do? Mindstorm? Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So that was obviously going to OHKO. I was never living that unless I did something to protect myself from it. And there's the crit. If that went to Thundurus, this was really bad. Okay, so what's the scary thing in back? I'm at +3 attack, right? Like, there is nothing that can take that attack realistically. How do I guarantee the win? Superpower Metagross and he Ally Switches. Then, okay, Superpower into... If I Superpower into Rotom and Earth Power the Metagross, either Superpower will KO the Rotom, or he Ally Switches and Superpower KOs the Metagross, right? So that's just the safe play. And then I get to Earth Power the Metagross. And if it gets redirected, it gets redirected. It never gets redirected, but then if the chances where the situations where this doesn't KO are the situations where I have KO'd the Metagross and there's an Ally Switch. So this should be fine. And so, like, I don't know, people say Ally Switch is a problem a lot, but, like, this is how he's spending a turn doing this, right? He's spending a turn and then he's not getting an attack off with his other Pokemon. So, like, he's not actually winning this game because of the Ally Switch. And I think that's, like, the key is, like, you're still... I think that this is something I'm thinking about a lot. This is maybe not the best place to be talking about, like, my crackpot theories for VGC. But, like, VGC, I think, is all about maximizing the number of turns you get. Right? So Fake Out is good because it's trading a turn for a turn, but it's doing a little bit of chip, and it's letting your partner do something a little more proactive. Ally Switch is spending a turn, and your Pokemon is doing very little. And so your partner Pokemon has to, like, you have to either be wasting your opponent's turns, or your partner Pokemon has to be just really special for it to be worthwhile. Okay, so Superpower is off. I can Wild Charge Araquanid and... Shoot, okay. How do I play around this stupid Ally Switch? If I fly and I Sludge Bomb, do I get there? 90% of the time. Or do I just Wild Charge? I think I'm going to Wild Charge and I'm going to Sludge Bomb. Okay, and he just did an Ally Switch, so I think we're good. Yeah, no Sash. I think I was okay if I didn't call that correctly. I might not be. Okay, but that just KO'd outright, yeah. And so what would have happened if he called the Ally Switch? I would have Sludge Bombed, I would have Wild Charged, I would have, like, maybe missed the KO on the Rotom. He would have KO'd the Thundurus with the Araquanid, I would have Sludge Bombed, I would have Sludge Bombed again into the Araquanid, and I would have to... Okay, so I'd have to call it 50-50 the next turn if I had called that one wrong. So that wasn't the worst. That was, like, I think a 75-25 in my favor. If things went wrong. Obviously, I needed to play the first couple turns a little better. But yeah, good games to Jin. Of course, make sure to check him out. And 6-0! Oh, this is crazy. We are still undefeated. We've only lost one game the entire tournament, 0 sets. Well played to Jin. If you like draft content like this, if you like high-level draft content like this, make sure to check out his channel, because he really does have the highest stakes draft league in VGC, or like VGC adjacent. So yeah, make sure to check him out, and thank you all for watching. Sorry for like the general lack of cohesiveness, I guess. I'm still a little fried, but until next time, I will see you all later.